All right. We are right on in to class number 260, which is our Photoshop Live and template class. So the idea here is that you take a concept, you take a template, you can flip it and make it something that relates to whatever your theme is. So I know we see baseball here, but I want you to imagine it could be number one, any sport. It could also be graduation. It could be Pokemon. It could be somebody's birthday, and maybe they're just really into sports or trading cards, anything to that nature. And it doesn't even have to be somebody who even knows what a trading card is. The design is cool enough on its own where you can use it for just about anything you can imagine. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a flip here so that I can show you once you do this one time, do it 3 more times, flip the design 3 more times. And my goal is to get you to where you flip these in 5 minutes or less. All right, so we're going to go ahead and flip this one out. I'm going to right click on my main character there, which is a photo. We'll double click on the photo. And here I have a different model I'm going to bring in. And give me just a moment. Let me refresh. This is the one that I fixed here. So we'll bring him in. Drag and drop. We'll make him pop out of the card there. Now for this one, I do feel like I might need a little more image below here. So now we are not going to do this part in class. However, if you find yourself in a similar position and you're prepping your images, I want you to prep your images. So I am going to use my cropping tool and pull this down, make sure it's on generative expand, then hit generate. And it could give me some crazy stuff down here. I don't really care because all I'm going to do is end up fading it off or hiding it behind another image, but I at least want something there so I don't see a very harsh, stark line. Okay. All right, so I guess I'm getting what I asked for. I said I didn't care if it was weird looking down there. So this is good enough here. I'm going to go ahead and merge that down. And then just in case I end up seeing this side seam here, I'm going to just select this area and generate. And hopefully it'll make this look seamless here. All right, that's better. I'll go with 3. Let me go ahead and merge that down. All right, so now my picture is taller. I'll go ahead and bring it down. Now for the main image, you want to keep the background in there. I'm going to show you how to keep the background in there, or of course, if you want to use the color blocking, you can do that as well. So for photo 1, you're probably going to have some kind of background in there, and that's fine. I'm going to show you how to still make it pop out. Let's hit yes to save that change. All right, and now we'll notice that it has a layer mask on this image. We'll go ahead and delete that layer mask. But you know, I'm going to go back. I want him to be about the same size as the other gentleman. And the reason why this matters is because if I am doing these type of images back to back to back to back, your best bet is to have an image that is very similar to the one that you just flipped, or a setup that's very similar to the one that you just flipped. So you have less work. I like to work genius, not just smart. All right, so we're going to close that down. And like I said, all of the image that's below here with his nightgown baseball jersey will not matter. So let's go ahead and hit yes to save those changes. Now it should be a little bit more proportionate to what we had before. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off just to make sure it looks good inside the card, and it does. So what I want to do for this image here, and I'll turn on the one at the very, very top so I can really see what's going on. I want to cut out the outside of this, but the easiest way to do that is to select the object selection tool. Drop down here to cloud. If you don't see this, it's because you need to update your Photoshop. Select subject, and it's going to use AI to figure out where my subject is. All right, perfect. Now with this selection here, I'm going to add a layer mask to the photo that is on top right here. So the layer mask is this rectangle with a circle in it. Awesome. And then I'm going to turn the eyeball off for this top photo. See how that instantly gave me this pop out feature? That's going to be super cool. Your designs are definitely going to stand out, and it did not take that much effort to make that happen. Okay. All right. So let's say his mascot is the Eagles. So I could do a couple of things here. I can change out the photo number 2 for his logo or mascot that we just created. So I'm going to do that first and change out the mascot. Now the mascot and any of the secondary images, I want you to already have cut out. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to do that with Photoshop, but you can also do it with a program called Remove BG or some of the other online background removers. You can even do it with Canva. So I'm going to use this image here, open it up in Photoshop. Same process here. I'm going to go to the object selection, drop down, go to the cloud, select the subject. And sometimes there will be parts of it that it includes or does not include that you need to add. But so far, this is really doing what we needed to do. I'm going to go ahead and clean that image up there. Now, if you feel like you need to clean it up a little bit more, you can go inside of and here, let me cancel out of this just to show you. You can go to select a mask here to refine that mask. Ooh, I just realized I cut off the edge of this bad. You know what I'm gonna have to do, my loves? I'm gonna have to fix this before I mess with it. Let me delete that layer mask. And here, I'm going to use my cropping tool, bring this out a little bit because I want the edge of that bat. Y'all know I can't stand a cut off design. Anything that's abruptly cut off bothers me. So let's go ahead and hit generative expand, generate. And hopefully it doesn't give us anything crazy outside of there. It's just the end of the bat. All right, perfect. Number 1 works for me. I don't even need to check another one. Let's merge it down. And now let's begin our object selection process. Object selection tool, cloud, select subject. I'm going to go to select a mask, make sure I don't have too much trash in here. I can choose refine hair because as you can see, it has like some little feathery texture there. And then I'm also going to hit decontaminate colors. That helps me a little bit as well. I still see a little bit here that's selected that I don't want. And I need to make sure that I have the subtraction tool selected here. And I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. There we go. That's perfect. Hit OK. All right, that looks good to me. So now this was my JPEG. I'm going to call this my... And if I don't like that he has the E on his hat, let me show y'all that too, because more than likely I would change that as well. Because normally the logo that's on the hat would be the logo of the school, and the school starts with a B. So I don't want to confuse anyone there. So I'll just hit generate and get rid of that on his hat. Now, of course, if I want to add my own letters or insignia to the hat, to the shirt, I could do that as well. Just not what we're doing tonight. Let me merge that down. I'll take this layer mask. I'm gonna drag it down here now. Looks good. And we will call this one Baseball Eagle Blue. And I'm going to go ahead and quick export that as PNG so that it is done and ready for class. Now, if you don't have your own images, if you don't have stock images or AI images that you developed for Wednesday class, I will give you some images. So I'll give you some images to flip. I will give you some assets that you can play with. But ideally, I want you to understand the power of this type of stuff so that you can do this as well. All right, so I am done with this. I don't even need to save the JPEG version of it because I have my PNG. So I'm going to go File, Place Embedded. I'm going to find that PNG version of my eagle. Hit Enter to lock in my transformation. Then I'll turn this off. Now, typically what I like to do is fade off the bottom of the image. So I'll go ahead and add a layer mask, grab my soft round brush. And this one, I'm going to change pixels to about 600. Let's go 800. That way it's a little bit bigger. And I have to make sure that black is selected. So I have my default swatches selected here. Then I hit the switcheroo button to get black in the foreground. And I'm just going to use my paintbrush to fade away down here and making sure that I'm on the layer mask there. All right, so I'll hit yes to save. All right, and just to make this a little more interesting, I'm going to change the color of the eagle mascot. Let's do a hue saturation here. You're not going to be doing this in class. Just have your, we're able to generate yours with whatever color you wanted. I'm just doing this not necessarily to show off, but to create a difference in the original image. So I selected the cyans there, pull this down. So cyans and blues are both active here. So I'm going to pull the cyans down, select the blues. Okay, so all of that was blue and cyan. Excuse me. Now I'm going to shift this to, let's shift it to red. Oh, what about green? I like the green. Okay, so that only shifted the blues to green. I'm also going to shift the cyans to green. And if I want it darker, like a hunter green, I bring down the lightness here. I'm going to go grab my blues and bring down the lightness as well so I can get a nice start. Ooh, that looks good. All right, so I like that as my color there. So let's go ahead and hit yes to save. All right, and I'll go ahead and, oh, you know what? No, I lied. I'm gonna take them back to blue because all of my other images are blue with my model. So I want to stick with that. But at least you know how to do it. All right, so what I'm gonna do for the main image here is I'm gonna change that photo out. Let's see, I have an image the same way I showed you that we created the gentleman, the different poses, and we did the face swap. So I created him as a consistent character where he's pitching and also in the batting stance. And then also I have this graduation image. So let me think, which one? I think I'm going to make this one a graduation image because I have two baseballs. So he's going to be graduating as the main photo. He's going to be graduating as the main photo with two baseball photos instead of the mascot. So let me go ahead and gonna place him in here, place embedded, or I can drag and drop him from here. All right, so that's a graduation image. Yes to save. And I'll have to delete that layer mask because it no longer applies. Then here I'm going to resize it because they're linked here. So if I resize one, it's going to resize them all. Just want to get them in position there. All right, perfect. I might make it just a little bit smaller because I'm going to place a couple of baseball images there. So for photo number 2, I'll double click this one. I'm going to turn off, well, I'll leave the eyeball on until I put the new image in here. So this one, I'm going to go with his baseball image. There we are. And again, you should have this image already cut out for class so we don't spend too much class time cutting out stuff or any class time cutting out stuff except for that initial image. So I'll go Object Selection Tool, drop down Cloud, and select Subject. That looks good. It's got a little extraneous stuff around his head, but I could clean that up a little bit later. I'm gonna make him a little bit larger too. There we go. Let's close out, hit yes to save. All right, so now I have my baseball image here, and maybe I want one more. And for this one, I'm just gonna lay it right on top because it's just going to be only an accent image. So place embedded. I'm gonna grab this other image. We're just gonna be doing 2 in class, but you can do more, of course. You know I'm extra. So I'm bringing that image in. And I'm going to same thing here with the object selection tool. Make sure you have yours already cut out, especially if you plan on using multiple images. If you come prepared to class with your images already cut out, it just makes it that much simpler. All right, now I'm going to drag him below my grad image. And here, I think I'm actually going to keep it on this side. And I'm just deciding here how I want to collage this image, this photo. I'm going to shift it over to the left a little bit. And on this image now, I can fade that off at the bottom, same way we did before. Got my soft round brush. Fade that off. And although this is not the exact same model, y'all can see that this is all AI generated. These faces look close enough to one another where I would not question if those are 3 different people if I initially saw this template. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and change out the logo. So you should have your logo, whether it be for a local school or you could have created one. We also have, I think, our AI in Action class number 4, where we created a whole bunch of logos. That's where these logos came from. And I'm just gonna take one of these I'll go with the Panther logo. Now, if you were placing your logo in there, you would do File, Place Embedded. So I want that to be a little more royal blue. I'm going to change hue saturation there. Now, if you did the project from Thursday from our Shop Talk class that we did, I told you to go find a local school. So if you have a local school, that's what I did right there. The Bulldog logo for bowls. I did that from a local school. So I'm practicing what I'm preaching there. Let's go ahead and double click here. Let's grab that cyan. I want to make it a little more blue than cyan, but I don't want it to be blurple. All right, I think that makes me happy right there. And that was just me eyeballing the color, y'all. That was not anything scientific at the moment. Now, what I'll do, I see he's wearing a gray, like a light gray with the royal blue. So I'm gonna use my color picker tool here. And usually I color pick from the logo. So I would color pick this blue, maybe that darker blue. And if I like the gray, I'm gonna color pick that gray. So here for color number 2, I'm going to double click to change that out. Go to my swatches and you'll see the gray is there. So I'm going to duplicate the layer, tap on the gray. And I feel like there's a little too much pink in there. So I'm going to pull it closer to the left, give me a pure gray. All right, and that's my color number 2. And I could also choose here. And change this blend mode to color. And let me see, kind of like the gray there. I think I'm gonna leave it alone because the blue blends in a little too much. So I'll leave that gray there. And if I want to change out the word bulldogs now, I'd select the word bulldogs, double click, and I'm going to call that now Panthers. Go to my move tool to get out of my text editing mode. That looks good. Now I'll come here to where it says 2024 senior. You can put your school. So you can have your school Panthers. I kind of like the 2024 senior. So I'm going to leave that there. But if I want something different, I can just duplicate the layer, turn one of them off. All right, and then I would suggest that you don't even put the word school there because I'm going to show you how you can turn this into a t-shirt design real quick. Really quick. All you do is go turn on this layer mask at the bottom and turn on the layer mask here. You're only going to turn that layer mask on for the shirt. All right. And now you have a nice image that you can use for a shirt. It still has the baseball card theme, but you can have it as a nice PNG that you can do sublimation. You can do that DTF, and it's a whole nother design that is ready to go. Now, I will tell you if you're going to do this as DTF, and you want to make sure you don't have any of your images hanging off the edge like that. So just be very aware. And you may even have to, I see I may have to put this image down here as the front image. And this image here behind. All right, and then this way I have a cleaner image. It's gonna be much easier for me to do DTF or sublimation. And if you don't know which one you're gonna do, you might as well make it work for either one. All right, so that's one down. I'm gonna go ahead and quick export as PNG, so I have that as my shirt design. And y'all, this actually works as a card design, so hopefully I get a chance to show you that on a metal card and in a display. I think I'm on 4. All right. And like I said, this does not have to be a baseball image at all. You can make it look like it's a card without even using any type of sports whatsoever. So I'm going to turn off my baseball images and show you how I can make this just pop out of this part of the card. So this is your photo. All right, and what I'm going to do is select just the inside part of this image here. And I'm going to grab my brush. Then I'm going to select the inverse because I want to select the outside meat. But I just want to clean this image up a little bit here, the part that's popping out. So I'm going to create a layer mask. Go up to layer, layer mask. I want one that reveals all right now. That way I can take my black and I can just clean it up here. And I hit Control D to deselect. Now the top of my image still pops out. This is cleaned up here. If I want to go a little bit of a step further, I'm going to turn that off. And I really want it to have like a clean, hard line right here. And right now I have the layer effects on. I know what I can do. I'm gonna alt click and drag a version of it to the top here. And change the fill to 0. Then that way you have that on top. Pop out, still popping out. This will go here. Add a layer mask. And you won't have to do all this. I'm doing this for you. Uh-oh. I want to clear that layer style and just get the inside. You know what I'm gonna have to do just to make this simple for y'all, because I don't want it to be something that y'all have to touch. I am going to do a little something here for y'all. Give me a second. Y'all won't have to do this. I'm doing it for y'all. And I'm going to, at least you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn off my drop shadow. The only thing I'm going to leave on right now is the stroke, bevel emboss. I'll even leave on the drop shadow, as long as you leave that white. All right, so all I need is the stroke and the bevel emboss. I don't even need the color overlay because I'm going to turn the fill to 0. There we go. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to rasterize that layer style so that it is on top. Cool, cool. Then I'll add a layer mask onto here. Paint that away. Now add that little white back there. There we go. All right, so now this one and this one need to be linked, otherwise they will move separately and we don't need that to happen. So he pops out on top. And our gentleman down here needs a layer mask. He's popping out down here, so we need a little black to conceal here. Boom. And then all of this needs to clip. There we go. And I'm releasing him, so he's not supposed to be in the layer mask. Here we go. All right, so you also have a signature here. So I think that would be pretty cool if you are making it look like a player card or a trading card. Then I would just type in the text there. So of course, you can go to the word signature, double click. And if you want to get fancy, you can even change that to where it's at an angle. All right. And because it's so dark here, I would change the glow there. It's got an outer glow on it. We'll change the opacity. Just to make it stand out a little bit. And here is a whole nother variation of the design. All right, so I'm going to change it back to the card. I may do one more variation, but that is our time for tonight. Like I said, this is actually a template that is in development. I'll have this one ready for you all for class on Wednesday. So please go ahead and make sure that you are in our VIP, our Platinum VIP, which is our Craft Equip, so that you can come to these live classes, get help on Wednesday, creating these images. And this is perfect because we're working on our graduation Shopify challenge, which is not just Shopify. We're teaching you how to design the design here. We're teaching you how to mock it up, all with simple templates. Then we're also showing you how to upload these into a Shopify store so that by graduation season, you can quit selling in your DMs and you can have a bona fide Shopify store where you can make money while you sleep because your customers can order without having you on the phone or interfacing with you back and forth in your DMs, text messages, etc. So hopefully you all are enrolled in that Shopify challenge. And if not, customer happiness, oh, you've already beat me to it. I already dropped the link for the Shopify challenge. You will get templates. You will get real life hands-on help. You will launch a store in 5 days with us as long as you stay the course, stay with us. And we're talking about from 8 to 10, Monday through Friday. You're going to have hands-on help and you're going to get work done. All right. So congratulations to everyone who's here now. Congratulations to, I think, at least 40 people who enrolled for the early bird. We were not expecting that many people to do early bird because we did not even officially launch it until today. So congratulations to everyone who's already in there. And for those who are not, please make sure that you join us on the Shopify challenge so you too can be ready for graduation season. All right, my loves, that is my time for tonight. I appreciate you. I love you dearly. And until next time, bye. Good night, y'all.